Hello. Today we will learn the chapter 2nd of mobile communication. It is cellular concept. In this chapter we see the different terms related to the cellular concepts. First we see the what is mean by cell. Cell means it is a geographical unit. After that we see the different terms like cluster, frequency reuse of the. Next, we see the frequency reuse concept. After that, we see the different important definitions of the communication systems. In that, important definitions are base station, control channels, mobile station, forward channel, reverse channel, and handoff. Also, we see the mobile switching center. Frequency reuse distance. These different important definitions we can see in this point. Next, we see the different channel assignment strategies. In that, we see the two different channel assignment strategies: fixed channel assignment strategy and dynamic channel assignment strategy. Next, we see the what is mean by handoff and different handoff strategies. After that, we see the different types of handoff. In that, hard handoff, soft handoff, forced handoff, delayed handoff, queued handoff. These different handoffs we can see. Next, we see the mobile assisted handoff. Next, we see the interference and system capacity. In this point, we see the two different types of interference: co-channel interference and the adjacent channel interference. Next, we see the different channel plannings for wireless system. Definition of the channel planning and different channels useful for the channel planning system. In that, we see the control channels and the voice channel. Next, we see power control for reducing interferences. In that, open loop power control and closed loop power control systems are uses. Next, we see the improving coverage and capacity in cellular system. In this point, we see the three different concepts like cell splitting, sectoring, and microcell zone concept. Next, we see the repeater. Next, we see the umbrella cell approach. Okay. So first, cell. The basic geographical unit of a cellular communication system called as cell. Cell, it is a basic geographical unit of a cellular communication system. It is called as a cell. Each cellular base station is allocated a group of radio channels to be used within a small geographical area. It is called as a cell. Its shape, it is a hexagonal. Cells have the base stations transmitting over small geographical areas. The hexagonal cell shape is conceptual and it is simplistic model of the radio coverage for each base station. Cell structure, it is like a hexagonal shape, and this shape, it is a conceptual. It has been universally adopted since the hexagon permits easy and manageable analysis for a cellular system. Okay, cell, it is a geographical unit of a communication system. Next, we see the cluster. A group of cells is called as a cluster. The cluster size n is not fixed. It is depends on the requirement of a particular area. Okay. Next we see the frequency reuse concept. Each cellular base station is allocated a group of channels to be used with a small geographical area. It is called as a cell. The base station antenna are designed in such a way that they effectively achieve a coverage region within the cell. The same group of channels is used by different base stations to cover all cells. The channels are allocated in such a way that the distance between cells is large to avoid adjacent channel interference. The design process which selects and allocate group of channels to all base station is called as a frequency reuse. Okay. So frequency reuse means the design process which selects and allocates group of channels to all base station is called as a frequency reuse. Frequency reuse is an important concept because in this a single transmitter of a higher power need not to be used to cover the entire area. Instead, many transmitters of a small output power operating at the same frequency can be used, and it increases the spectrum efficiency. So frequency reuse concept it is important because in this technique single high power transmitter antenna is not used. Instead, we use the many transmitters with the smaller output power. So this concept it increases the spectrum efficiency. Figure shows the mapping of frequency or spectrum into different cells. The same letter represents it is used the same group of channels. In the same frequency is used by different user in different time slot, then this technique it is called as a TDM, and such multiple access technique it is called as a time division multiple access technique. This is all about this is the frequency reuse. Next is the analysis of frequency reuse concept. Consider a cellular system which consists total duplex channels and it is represented as S for every user. This total channels divided into n number of cells and number of channels is represented by K. Then the total number of radio channels it is given by S is equal to K into N, where S is equal to total number of duplex channels, K is equal to number of channels per cell, and N is equal to number of cells. So S is equal to K into N. The total number of duplex channels in a cellular system is called as a capacity of the cellular system. The cluster is reflected m times, then a capacity of cellular system C is given by C is equal to m into K into N. And we know that K into N is equal to S means total number of duplex channel. So C is equal to m into S. Next we see the different important definitions of the communication system. First is the base station. Base station is defined as fixed means non-moving station in a mobile radio system which communicates with the mobile station. Means base station it is useful for the communication purpose and it is communicate with the mobile station. So base station is defined as fixed or non-moving station in a mobile radio system which communicates with the mobile station. Base stations are located at the center or on the edge of the region being covered. It consists of transmitter antenna, receiver antenna and radio channels mounted on a tower. Next is the control channels. Control channels is defined as the radio channels used for transmitting such as call setup, call request, call initiation as well as the control information. Control channels, it is a radio channels. It is useful for the transmitting some informations like call setup, call initiation and some control information. Next is the forward channel. Forward channel, it is defined as the radio channels used for transmitting the information from the base station to the mobile station, that is in the forward direction. Forward channels means information transmitted from base station to mobile station. Next is the mobile station. Mobile station, it is defined as a station in the cellular radio service which is used when in the motion at an unspecified location. Mobile station, it is a station of a radio service which is used when motion at an unspecified location. Mobile stations can be portable, handheld personal units or they can be the ones installed in vehicles. Next is the reverse channel. Reverse channel, it is defined as the radio channel used for transmitting the information from mobile station to base station, that is in reverse direction. Reverse channel means radio channels useful for the transmitting the information from mobile station to base station in reverse direction. Next is the handoff. Handoff, it is the process of transferring the mobile station from one base station to other base station. Handoff means it is a process of transferring the mobile station from one base station to other base station. Next is the mobile switching center. It is defined as the center which is set up for coordinating the routing of calls. It is also called as a MTSO, that is Mobile Telephone Switching Office. Mobile switching center, it is defined as the center which is set up for coordinating the routing of calls. For the communication purpose, collecting the different coordinates from the different users, and these coordinates collected and the communication is possible by using the mobile switching center. Next we see the transmission systems. The mobile radio transmission systems are classified into three different types: simplex system, half duplex system and full duplex system. So first is the simplex system. In this system, communication can take place in one direction. So it is called as a simplex system. Example, it is a TV system. Simplex means it can only transmit the signals. Next is the half duplex system. These systems are bidirectional. That is, they can transmit as well as receive but not simultaneously. Example is the walkie-talkie set. Next is the full duplex system. These are bidirectional systems as they allow the communication to take place in both directions simultaneously. These systems transmit as well as they receive signals simultaneously. Example is the mobile. Next, frequency reuse distance. The distance between two cells using the frequency reuse concept, and it is depends on the radius of one cell, that is r, and n is equal to number of cells in one cluster, and it is given by distance d is equal to root 3 into n into r. This is the frequency reuse distance. Next is the channel assignment strategies. A variety of channel assignment strategies have been developed for increasing capacity and minimizing interference. So, channel assignment strategies are useful for increasing the capacity and minimizing the interference. The channel assignment strategies can be classified into two types. First is this fixed channel assignment strategy, and second is the dynamic channel assignment strategy. Fixed channel assignment strategy. In a fixed channel assignment strategy, each cell is allocated a predefined set of voice channels. In fixed channel assignment strategy, each cell is allocated a predetermined set of voice channels. Any call attempt within the cell can only be served by the unused channel at that particular call. Means, if any call is attempt within any cell, then the unused channels can handle this particular call. If all the channels in that cell are used, then the call is blocked. In such situation, a subscriber does not get service. There are different modifications in the fixed channel assignment strategy. Channel borrowing. Channel borrowing involves borrowing channels from other cell or same cell. The main advantage of channel borrowing is that prevent cell splitting, that is costly. Okay. In fixed channel assignment strategies, some modifications are there, and these modifications it is called as a channel borrowing. Channel borrowing means borrow the channels from the other cell as well as or same cell. The main advantage of the channel borrowing is it is useful to prevent the cell splitting, and this method is costly. In one method, a cell is allowed to borrow channels from an adjacent cell if all of its channels are occupied. This method is called as borrowing strategy. Okay. Next is the dynamic channel assignment. In dynamic channel assignment strategy, there is no permanent allocation of channels. In dynamic channel assignment strategies, there is no any permanent allocation of the channels. Every time a call request is done, the base station requests a channel from the MSC. The MSC only allocates the channels after verifying that the channel is not currently in use. In the cell or any other cells that comes within the minimum restricted distance of frequency reuse to minimize co-channel interference. Dynamic channel assignment strategy reduces and increases the capacity of the system. In dynamic channel assignment strategies, no any permanent allocation of the channels. Every time call request is done, then base station request to the particular channels for the MSC. Then MSC allocates the channels after verifying the channel is not currently in use. And it is useful to minimize the co-channel interference. This is the dynamic channel assignment strategy. The major difference between fixed channel assignment strategy and the dynamic channel assignment strategies: in fixed channel assignment strategy, specific channels are allocated to specific cells. Means here channels are fixed in fixed channel assignments. And in dynamic channel assignments, there is no any relation between the channels and the cells. Means in dynamic channel assignment, there is no any permanent allocation of the channels. In fixed channel assignment strategy, allocation of channel is permanent, and in dynamic channel assignment strategy, the allocation of channels is not permanent. The fixed channel assignment strategy, it is suitable for uniform and heavy traffic system. And dynamic channel assignment strategy, it is suitable for non-uniform and moderate to light traffic system. This is the difference between the fixed channel assignment strategy and the dynamic channel assignment strategy. Next is the handoff. When mobile station moves in different base station while call is in progress, then MSC automatically transfers call on new channel which belongs from new base station. This process is called as handoff. Handoff means mobile station moves from one base station to another base station while call is in progress. Then MSC, that is mobile switching center, automatically transfers call to the new channels belongs from the new base station, and this process is called as a handoff. The processing of handoff is an important task in a cellular system. In handoff strategies, higher priority is given to the handoff request than the call initiation request in the cellular system. In handoff system, higher priority is for the handoff request. Means first gives priority to the handoff request and then the call initiation request. The system designers must specify the optimum signal level at which handoff is initialized. The first minimum signal level to maintain a call is decided. Then slightly stronger signal is considered for handoff process. Means minimum signal level, it is useful to maintain the call, and the slightly stronger signal, it is useful for the handoff. The equation of the handoff is given by delta is equal to PR handoff minus PR minimum level of signal. The difference between the two levels of the signal, it is denoted by the delta. As the value of delta is too small, then the call may be lost due to weak signal. And if the value of delta is too large, then unnecessary handoff may take place at any time. Next is the proper and improper handoff. Figure A shows improper handoff, in which a handoff frequency is not made and a signal drops below minimum acceptance level. Due to this, call is terminated. Figure B shows the proper handoff. The handoff has taken place as soon as the received signal level drops to the handoff threshold. Before initializing the handoff, it is necessary to ensure that the reduction in the measured signal level is not due to the momentary signal fading, and that the drop in the signal level is due to the actual movement of the mobile station. Next we see the different types of handoff. In that we see the hard handoff, soft handoff, forced handoff, delayed handoff, and queued handoff. First is the hard handoff. If the mobile station transmits between two base stations having different operating frequencies, such type of handoff is called as hard handoff. Hard handoff means the mobile station moves from one base station to another base station with different frequencies. So these type of handoff, it is called as a hard handoff. Next is the soft handoff. If the mobile station starts communicate with the new base station without stopping the communication with the older base station, operating frequencies of the old and new base stations are identical. Such type of handoff, it is called as a soft handoff. In soft handoff, the mobile station starts communication with the new base station without stopping the communication with the older base station. Operating frequencies of the old and new base stations are identical. This type of handoff, it is called as a soft handoff. Next is the forced handoff. A forced handoff is defined as the handoff which normally occur but it is not allowed to happen by force, or handoff that should not occur but it is forced to takes place. It is called as a forced handoff. Next is the delayed handoff. In many situations, instead of one level, a two-level handoff procedure is followed in order to ensure a higher possibility of a successful handoff. Means sometimes or in some situations, two-level handoff procedure is followed. This figure shows a graph of signal strength with two different handoff levels. When the signal level drops below the L1, then mobile station initiates a handoff request. Means the signal strength is dropped up to L1, then handoff request is initiated. If the base station is busy, then mobile station will repeat this handoff request after every 5 seconds. Means base station is busy, then mobile station repeats this handoff request in every 5 seconds. But the signal level is reaches the level L2, then mobile station must have to the accept handoff request without any condition immediately. Means the signal strength is reaches up to level L2, then mobile station accepts this request without any condition. This process is called as delayed handoff. Next is the queued handoff. In the queued handoff process, the MTSO, that is mobile switching center, arrange handoff request in a queue. If it finds that new cell sites are too busy to make the handoff possible. In queued handoff, the different handoff requests are arranged in a queue. These handoff requests are acted upon in sequential manner. It is more effective than two threshold handoff. It is effective only when the handoff requests arrive at the MTSO in the form of bundles. Means queued handoff, in that the different handoff requests are arranged in a queue and it is in sequential manner. Next is the mobile assisted handoff, that is MAHO. In the second generation system, the handoff decisions are assisted by the mobile stations. The mobile assisted handoffs are known as MAHO. In MAHO, every mobile station measures the power it receives from all the base stations around it and continuously reports this measured power level to the serving base station. In MAHO, every mobile station measures the receives power with different base stations and these reports to the serving base station, means the particular base station. If the power received from the base station of the neighboring cell begins to go beyond the power received from the current base station by a certain margin, then the handoff will be initiates. Means MAHO first checks the different power levels and informs to the particular base station. if the power received from the base station of the neighboring cell begins go beyond the power received from the current base station by the certain margin, then handoff will be initiates. The advantage of the mobile assisted handoff is that this method reduces the time required to hand over the cell between the base stations. MAHO is particularly suitable for the microcellular environment where the handoff procedure needs to be followed very frequently.